This is the easiest path to 10K a month as a law firm owner. Buckle up. All right, so before I get into the steps, into the mechanism, into the strategy, into whatever, why don't I tell you a little bit about me? Who am I? My name is Christopher Small. Okay, I am the former owner of Emerald City Law Group. It was a personal injury and criminal defense firm doing in the mid to upper six figures when I sold it several years ago. I'm the current owner of CMS Law Firm, which is a seven-figure plus estate planning and probate law firm. I have started both of these firms from scratch. No network, no experience, no contacts, no nothing. I started them both from scratch. So I kind of know what I'm doing a little bit. Okay? And why am I teaching you this? Why am I telling you this? One reason, which I'm going to get to in a second. There's a reason though that is not true, and that is I'm not trying to sell you any coaching. I'm not trying to sell you any system. I'm not trying to get you into any sort of like mastermind group. None of that. You go find those on your own. Okay? Why I am doing this is I also own a different business. It's called Big Bird Accounting. We do bookkeeping and tax consulting for law firm owners exclusively. I want to teach you how to build up your law firm so that you will hire us to do your books and help you save money on taxes as you grow. If you already need that and you're here, you can go to bigbirdaccounting.com. I would love to chat with you about your business, show you what we can do. Pretty straightforward. Okay, now this is the easiest path to 10K a month as a law firm owner. Why is 10K such a nice round number? If you do on 10K, you will have over a six-figure business by the end of the year. Okay, 83-33 will get you to 100K a year. So at 10K, you're over that. That's a good place to start. It was a big benchmark for me and my firm, and it's a lot easier to get to than you think. So before we get started though, I'm gonna, let you know that I'm making at least one assumption before we dive into what's going on. That one assumption is you have actually started your law firm. I'm not gonna talk about creating an LLC. I'm not gonna talk about any of that stuff, okay? I'm assuming that you've created your LLC, you have a tax ID number, you have opened a bank account, and you have a business credit card. If you haven't done those things yet, you should do those things and then come back and watch this video. That's like literally step one. All right, so the first thing that I would do to get to this 10K a month is I would pick a niche, okay? You're not doing door law. You're not taking everything that comes in through the door, okay? Pick something that you want to focus on. Pick something that you like. If you notice with the two firms that I've owned, we focused specifically on certain practice areas, criminal defense and personal injury. And I can tell you inside of that, we sort of did like everything with a car, right? So we did traffic tickets, we did a lot of DUIs, and we did a lot of car accidents. All of those things kind of flow together, easily referable, and although not a lot of crossover, niche enough that you can get good at them quickly. Now, obviously, I'm doing estate planning and probate. Clear that that's a niche, okay? Why do you want to pick a niche? So that people get to know you for what you do. Also, when you talk to people, you can tell them what you do. Not that you own a law firm and you do everything. You can tell them, I'm a divorce attorney, I'm a bankruptcy attorney, I'm a real estate attorney, I'm an estate planning attorney. Whatever it is, you can tell them and you can start to sort of build a brand, build some recognition, build some expertise, build some trust about what it is that you do. Now, you don't have to spend a lot of time really worrying about the niche. There's money to be made in all of the niches. Okay, particularly if you pick sort of one of these traditional practice areas, the ones that I just named, immigration, personal injury as well, criminal defense, they all will work. Literally all of them. Litigation, doesn't matter. Okay, pick one and run with it. So pick something that you like, pick something that you're interested in, pick something that you can talk about. And if you don't have any experience, pick something that you're going to be dedicated to learning. Okay, so step one is to pick a niche. Super helpful. When you pick a niche, then you're going to know who your ideal client is. You're going to be able to talk to them. You're going to be able to do some of these other things that we're talking about. Okay. Also, one thing that we're not doing right now to get to 10K, we're not worried about case management systems. We're really honestly not even worried too much about bookkeeping. Definitely not worried about tax strategy. At 100K of gross revenue, you're not there yet. Okay, do your books on your own. You won't have to really worry about tax strategy because you won't be making enough necessarily to worry about it. You want to track all of your expenses, you're going to write those off. Vehicle stuff, track it. Okay, we'll get there some other time. Once you pick a niche, then you're going to want to start creating content around that niche. What kind of content? Content that's very much like this, okay, except related to your practice area. What do people need to know to do a good job? What kind of myths can you bust? What kind of roadblocks or problems are to be avoided? What can you just teach them about the way that the system works and the way that the terms work? What can you teach them about what not to do? What kind of interesting stories do you have? What kind of questions are people asking you? Create content around all of that. I would encourage you to create videos because videos allow you to really have a connection with people. They allow you to demonstrate expertise, and they also allow you to demonstrate like who you uniquely are as a person. If you're super scared about it though, write some articles, do a podcast where you're just doing audio. Okay, whatever it is, you need to start creating content, and you really should try to just put it as many different places as you can. When I make videos, they go on Facebook, they go on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, podcasts as audio. Okay, I think that's all the places they go. Many, many different places, because you just want to put yourself out there in as many spots as possible so that potential clients can find you and hire you. Okay, so start creating content. I would create as much as you can. If you can get to one piece of content per day, that's going to be super good. Okay, I would start at maybe once a week, work yourself up, but you need to do it regularly and consistently and forever. Okay, let's see the next step. Step 3, I guess I would call it, but I would do all these kind of at the same time, because remember, you don't have any clients, or you don't have a lot of clients. You're under 100K a year, you're not as busy as you think you are. So stop wasting so much time on client work, start focusing on getting some more clients. The next thing I would do is I would be networking. Okay, when I was estate planning, I did a ton of financial planner and accountant kind of meetings. Not everybody's going to be great, but you're likely to find like a new client or two a month just by having like sort of fresh networking meetings with anybody that you can think of. And if you are in one of these other practice areas, I would think about other attorneys potentially, where there is some good referral opportunities. Criminal defense and family law and bankruptcy, those 3 things sort of all go together. Okay, like PI, criminal defense, those can go together. But reach out to people who are not in your practice area, but that can refer you cases, and try to get them to refer you stuff. Okay, share fees with them if you must. I probably would, because you're just in that business for free, so do that. But as much networking as you can. I was trying to do like a coffee meeting a day when I first started my estate planning firm. When I was doing PI, I had chiropractor meetings and stuff like that all the time. So just start reaching out and start talking to people. Number 4, I would start advertising. Okay, you don't need to advertise a ton. You don't need to have a huge budget, but you need to dip your toe in the water. And it's a good way to get your name out there, and also to put yourself in front of people that want to hire you. Google ads are really good for direct, urgent matters, criminal defense, personal injury, family law, probate, those type of things. They go to Google and they type it in. Criminal defense attorney near me, that's Google. Facebook, I would also use, and I would push your content on Facebook, and that's more like brand building. I would pick a city, probably the city where your office is, and I would just pump that content out to as many people as possible. You don't let the algorithm work. It doesn't matter. You just want people to know you exist in what you do. They'll start coming, promise. And then number 5 is rinse and repeat. You do those 3 things, create content, network, advertise, you're going to be at 10K a month in no time. Because for most of you, that's like maybe 3 to 6 clients a month, and that is doable for sure. Okay, so that's it. That is the easiest path to 10K a month as a law firm owner. It doesn't actually take a lot of time, not as much as you think. It doesn't hardly take any money. It just takes you taking action. Okay, a couple of side things to help you along the way to consider as you go through this journey. When you start doing these different steps, you are going to have more people calling you, reaching out to you, and you're going to need to handle that if you want to take advantage of these new leads. Number 1, make sure you are answering the phone or have someone answering the phone, so that when people call, you can either set the meeting or talk to them right there. If you're in one of these urgent matters, bankruptcy, PI, criminal defense, you need to be answering the phone like immediately, ready to sign people up, because if you don't, they're going to call the next person and sign up with them. Number 2, the second sort of helpful thing, you need to also have a system for following up with potential clients systematically. Talk to somebody on the phone, they say, I'm going to think about it. How are you following up with them? When are you following up with them? What are you saying to them? And how can you do so in a way that you don't have to remember off the top of your head that you should be doing that? Okay. And then last but not least, you should create a sales script and work on it. Okay. You don't have to memorize it, but you should know where you want to go. You should know what you're going to say. Practice your transitions. Practice saying the prices for your services. Okay. You need to be able to say them with confidence. You need to be able to anticipate questions that people are going to have, objections that they may have to you. For example, when I first started out, I was, 27, I think, when I opened my first law firm, and I looked like a baby. So I had to deal with people asking me like, how old are you? How much experience do you have? Why do you look so young? All these different things. And I took the time to think about those questions in advance, come up with some answers that were as good as they could be. And then when I got asked those questions in real life, I was able to answer them confidently and answer them sort of succinctly and persuasively so that people would sign up with me. Okay, so that's it. I hope this helps. Hope this gets you to 10K. And if you're already there and you want some help with bookkeeping and tax consulting, tax strategy, go to bigbirdaccounting.com, set up a time to talk with me, learn about your business, show you what we can do, save you some money, get you some clean books, take some time off your hands, make life easy for you, and help you crush it. Okay, that is it. Hey, also, if you're here and you made it this far, follow, subscribe. If you have questions, ask them, I'll answer them. and appreciate you. That's it.